Have you ever gotten into a car and you just know something is off? You can't explain it, but your back is already complaining and the whole driving position just feels wrong. Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on a single design secret that car companies really hope you never find out about. It's a tiny, tiny detail with huge life or death consequences. You know the dance, right? You get in a car and the ritual begins. Seat forward, no back, up a little, down a little. You mess with the backrest, the lumbar, the headrest. You cycle through every single one of those 18-way adjustable settings. And 10 minutes later, you're still shifting in your seat because you just can't find that sweet spot. I mean, it's the first thing they tell you at the dealership, isn't it? Guaranteed comfort, a promise of this perfectly tailored fit. But if that's really true, why do so many of us feel like we're in a constant battle with our own car seats? Well, here's the secret. The problem isn't you, and it's not your body. The real reason for your discomfort is this single, invisible point that was decided on long, long before that car ever hit the showroom. It's called the H point, and it's the absolute foundation for your entire experience in that car. If they get this one thing wrong, nothing else they do can ever make it right. Okay, so let's break this down. Engineers will talk your ear off about the H point and the R point. Let's translate that into, human language. Just think of the H point as the golden coordinate of your butt. It's the precise pivot point of your hip joint. Or if you want to get a little more philosophical, you could call it the very soul of the seat. To make this super clear, picture your car's interior like a perfectly shot photograph. The H point is the focal point of that camera. When it's dialed in correctly, your view of the road is perfect, the steering wheel and pedals are exactly where they should be, and all the safety features are aimed right at you. But if that focus is even a little bit off, the whole image just becomes a blurry, uncomfortable mess. Or think about it this way. Your body is basically a folding ruler, with your torso and your legs. The H point is the main screw, the hinge, that holds those two parts together. Now, if that screw is in the wrong spot, none of the angles are going to line up. Your feet won't reach the pedals right, the steering wheel will feel too close or too far. It's a total geometric disaster. So why are we getting so obsessed with one single point? Because getting the H point wrong isn't just about being a little uncomfortable. It has massive real-world consequences that hit the two things we all care about most: your safety, literally your life, and the millions and millions of dollars that car makers waste when they screw it up. Let's start with this number, 5 millimeters. That's it. It's about the thickness of a couple of coins stacked together. It seems like absolutely nothing, right? Wrong. In the world of car design, that tiny little distance can be the difference between walking away from a crash and not walking away at all. So what does a 5 millimeter screw-up actually mean for you, the driver? Well, it means the seatbelt, which is designed to go across your strong collarbone, ends up digging into your soft neck. It means the airbag, which is supposed to impact your chest, instead explodes right into your face. It means your risk of a serious neck injury in a crash jumps by a whopping 30%. And worst of all, it can cause the most dangerous thing to happen in an accident. It's a terrifying thing called the submarine effect. This is where a poorly placed H point causes your body to slide down and forward in a crash right under the lap belt. The belt then crushes your abdomen instead of being held in place by your pelvis. This triples your risk of catastrophic internal injuries. And it's all because of a tiny 5 millimeter mistake. Okay, now let's talk about the money. Look at that number, 6.5 million yen. That's over $40,000. And no, that's not the price of a fancy car. That is the price of making one single mistake. This is a perfect example of the domino effect. A car company discovered an 8 millimeter error in their H point location, but they found it late in the game. What happened? They had to scrap and completely remake the expensive molds for the seat frame, for the floor of the car, and for the entire dashboard. A tiny miscalculation snowballed into a multi-million yen catastrophe that threw the whole project off schedule. Now, there's this common myth, something you might hear at the dealership, that softer seats are always better. You sink into this plush, cushy seat, and it feels great, so you figure the H point must be lower and more comfortable, right? Well, it's actually not that simple. That's really only half the story. Where your hips actually end up, that true H point, is this complex dance between how dense the foam is, the actual shape of the metal frame underneath, and, believe it or not, even how much friction the fabric has. A seat that feels amazingly soft on the surface could actually be putting your body in a really bad position. Get this. Here's a real story from an engineering team that they called the 12 millimeter war.
a designer decided to lower the H-point by just 12 millimeters to get a sportier feel. Week 1, that decision forced them to redesign the seat and the dashboard, costing over $1,000,000 yen. Then, week 2, they realized the fuel tank didn't fit anymore, so they had to make it smaller, which cut the car's driving range. Week 3, it failed safety tests, so they had to move the seatbelt anchor point, costing another 800,000 yen. By week 4, they figured out the driver couldn't see properly, so they had to change the windshield angle, which ended up making the car noisier. One tiny change created a chain reaction of expensive disasters.
So if this one point is so ridiculously important, how do engineers actually find it? They don't just guess. They use this very specific, standardized 76-kilogram dummy that's known in the industry as Oscar, or as the engineers like to call him, the Iron Butt. This is the guy who does all the test sitting for you. You know, there's a saying among Chinese auto engineers that just perfectly captures this. They say, H-point ding, tian sha ding. And what that means is once the H-point is set, all is set. It's the anchor for absolutely everything. Get this one thing right, and the rest of the car's interior actually has a chance of being great. And if you look at the money, it's just a complete knockout. Check this out. To test and validate the H-point early in the design phase costs about 100,000 yen. But to fix a mistake later on, you're talking anywhere from 5 to 20 million yen. That's a 50 times return on your investment just for doing your homework up front. It's a total no-brainer. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that you're not just a regular car buyer anymore. You're now an insider. You have the kind of knowledge that separates the experts from everyone else. So the real question is, how are you going to use this newfound power the next time you step onto a showroom floor? Here is your playbook for absolutely owning that dealership conversation. Step 1, sit down in the car, get comfortable, and just casually put your hand on your hip joint. Step 2, look the salesperson in the eye and ask, the H-point on this model feels a little different. Did you guys move it back to give more legroom in the rear? I promise you, their jaw will hit the floor. Step 3, the killer follow-up. Oh, and I see you adjusted the seatbelt anchor angle to compensate. Smart move. Then you just sit back, relax, and enjoy being treated like an automotive executive. So the next time you get in your car and that seat feels just perfect, remember the H-point. It's not just some random number on an engineering drawing. It's the exact coordinate for comfort and safety that engineers fought battles over and that a 76-kilogram iron butt named Oscar personally signed off on, just for you. Kind of makes you appreciate your drive a little more, doesn't it?